Yeah, this one I recently finished and I'm actually quite pleased with how it came out. It's a little bit shorter than a lot of my other scripts, but this is one I think that was inspired by Doctor Who. It has a lot of Yuri on Ice themes in it that I believe would be extremely well incorporated into the context and mood of particular scenes that occur. It's called Infinite Possibilities. Synopsis: a multidimensional being named Catan from the star system Suns quantum dives to Earth. He befriends a bookish girl named Sylph. She wonders what direction her life is taking, and he shows her every possibility she has as well as multiple versions of herself. Our cast is Catan, Valtan, his father, Anatan, his mother, Sylph Wazowski, Zelda Wazowski, her mom, Magnus Wazowski, her dad, um, Diva, Davina, her best friend, Capricia, Diva's sister, and her other best friend forever, Alice, her mother, Luca, her father. There's a dark sylph, a businesswoman sylph, an artist sylph, a traveler, future sylph, Natatan, and Galvatan. Truth is love. Love starts with you. Rap lyrics from Still Alive from Yuri on Ice. Scene 1. In the library. Diva, in a whisper. I don't see why you find quantum mechanics so fascinating. Sylph, it's all just theory. Sylph, I know, Diva, but I'm drawn to it. I think time travel exists. Remember Y2K? Capricia, of course, everybody does. The going rumor is a man named Joseph Teeter. He was a time traveler coming from another timeline who had experienced Y2K and had come to warn us and ultimately save us. His interviews are recorded for posterity. That still doesn't prove that there are alternate timelines. Only a select number of people are said to have seen or even spoken with Teeter. Good point, but you have to admit, it is very thought-provoking. We still have time for a mall crawl. I think we deserve a mani-pedi. Capricia, I like the way you think. They all head to the mall and relax for a little bit of pampering. Capricia's phone rings. Yeah, Mama, we're fine. We're heading home fairly soon. Don't worry. Sylph, I was hoping that we'd be able to hang out at the arcade. She's a little down. Diva hugs her from the side. We'll have plenty of time next weekend. It's not like we get to see each other. Besides, tonight's a school night. You're right. Hey, what say I treat you to some ice cream? Ooh, you read my mind. Meanwhile, in the star system Suns on planet Develium, Catan, I've decided to head somewhere new. Valtan, are you certain about that, Catan? Anatan, isn't Develium as good a place as any to explore? I can't be confined by the Sun's quadrant alone. There are plenty of worlds I have seen. But you know the galaxy is endless. I really want to test my abilities. They embrace him, closely trying not to cry. You did the same when you were learning how to quantum dive yourselves. Please, just let me see how endless the galaxy is. Anatan, be careful, Catan, my divine one. She kisses him. Catan, don't worry, I will be. Don't cry, Mother. It's not like I'm phasing out completely. We know. We're just going to miss you. You know that I will be with you wherever you go. If I am in distress, you'll know it. Don't worry so much. You'll prematurely age before your time. They all laugh. Time for me to dive. Take care. Blessings go with you. May the light guide me. He dives to Yuri on Ice as he's dancing a ballet, and then he disappears from view. Back on Earth, Sylph is getting particles of food out of her teeth and taking a drink of water, yawning. Night, Mom. Night, Dad. Good night, little bookworm. Love you, lightning bug. She swears she sees the mirror oscillating like water. She touches it, and her hand is taken in gently by Catan. At first, she's too scared to scream, but then she does. What's going on here? Who are you? What did you do? How are you floating like that? Where are we? My, so many questions. Not unlike what I was expecting. I've read a lot on your species. You are quite the inquisitive types. She eyes him, and she notices that they're falling, quote-unquote, down a void of the cosmos. What do you know? We've been garnering knowledge for centuries. I'm one of many multidimensional travelers. I come from the planet Develium. I guess I wouldn't know how to pronounce it. I guess it is Develium. I am called Catan. I suppose you could call me the prince of my people. Fascinating. I'm Sylph. Some call me Sylvie. Why did you... Catan kisses her hand. Pleasure is all mine, miss. Why did you so unwillingly take me on this adventure of yours? It's not unwillingly, dear. I'd seen your dreams. Curiously, I sneaked in unnoticed. Creepy. Are you some kind of voyeur? Not at all. I just want you to open up to infinite possibilities your life has. Isn't that going against the rules of space/time? I believe we hold those in our hands. I'm just giving you mirrors into alternate dimensions, so they do exist. As real as this as real as this hand holding yours, dear. Scene shift. Scene 2. Meeting her darker half. This gets kind of morbid, actually. Who is that? Why is she so dark and melancholy? This is a version of you if you had never met your friends or decided to sink into depression. She's terribly sad. Luckily, this isn't your Earth. This is just one of many in the galaxy. Dark Sylph. I'm finished with this existence. I've taken all I can. She pulls a trigger. I'm not taking it. She pulls a trigger and suddenly ends her life. We don't see, but we don't see it, but we hear the horrifying bang of a gun being fired. Oh my God! Why? She didn't have to do that. There was nothing we could have done. Her suicide is known as a fixed point. She tries not to cry, but is very incensed over the whole scene. This sucks. I don't know what her story was, but I feel attached to her. These are just different versions of you. They're you, but they're not. You are an individual apart from them. Did you come because you thought I was suicidal? No, but I arrived because I wanted to show you what would occur if you were to be. What an awful waste. So many people are coming to mourn her. As morbid as it sounds, that's making me feel a whole lot more confident. Surely there has to be a better version out there. Yes, allow me to direct you to another Earth. They dive into another Earth to Terra Incognita, again from Yuri on Ice. Artist Sylph. She's making her debut. Everyone's buying her paintings. She's decidedly lesbian. And what the heck is going on here? And everyone supports her. Aw, how sweet. She even has a little bun in the oven. Wait, how old is this version of me? Judging by her girth, weight, and structure, I'd say at least 27. I don't think I want to become an artist, though. Not for a lifelong vocation. It's only a hobby. Let's see what would happen if you became a businesswoman. He holds her hand, and they dive into another dimension. Scene shift. Scene 3. The good and the bad. This businesswoman is going about her day. She's completely harried. She seems to be locked into sort of a trance, doing work and completely serious. Sylph, this version of me is almost worse than the dark version. On this earth, you followed your dreams to become a successful business owner, but you became obsessed with outdoing everyone else so much you lost yourself along the way. She looks so lonely. Greed has a tendency to do that. I don't want either one of these futures for myself. I'm certain there are others, and they're a mixture of the good and the bad. I honestly say I like being around you. Even though I have just met you, I can say I love you. Isn't that a bit sudden? Love looks with the heart and not with the eyes. She blushes, lowering her head. I'm starting to think you dove into my realm for more than just giving me a tour of alternate dimensions. That I did. I hadn't originally come for you, but now I know I can't live without you. What happens now? After that confession, I know you can't leave. That's why I want you to take a leap of faith with me. That means I have to leave everything I know behind. No one is going to understand why. Actually, you'd be surprised. She narrates. It was a difficult decision, but ultimately I knew I had to go with Catan. I felt a connection to him I hadn't felt with any other man I had ever met. In fact, I hadn't known what being in love was like. I had always had my nose in a book or my hands occupied with writing essays for class. If anyone had ever had any fancy for me, I never noticed. With Catan, though, it was different. His affection was unfiltered, pure, innocent, and unconditional. He wanted to teach me what it was like to be multidimensional. The idea was already something I didn't understand with my limited three-dimensional thinking. However, that would change soon enough. I said my goodbyes and took my friend's hand, diving deeper into love. I knew wherever we went or whatever we saw would send ripples throughout the cosmos that would ultimately transform it for the better. An instrumental version of JJ's theme plays as the two make their new life on Develium. From time to time, she and Catan return to Earth and see how it is changing, due to more and more people becoming open to stomping out limiting beliefs and realizing just how majestic and unlimited the mind is. Scene 4, Two Worlds as One. Nadatan. Did you always know that you liked Papa first, Mama? Sylph. Actually, I did. I sort of felt he was a little creepy. It's rude just to invade someone's dreams without an invitation. I've been watching you from the beginning. I had been watching her from the beginning, and I loved her then. I couldn't reveal the true reason behind that, or none of this would have ever come to be. And Galvaton says, you are creating your own reality. Catan says, that's right. Sylph, I just had to trust him. We related on a subatomic level the first time we started exploring different avenues. I decided this one would be the best, and I got the two of you. I couldn't be happier. Nada. I am pleased that we can exist in both worlds now. We're not confined by either of them. That sentence in and of itself is really profound. Sylph. No, your only limit is your imagination. You'll never know what Catan and I have spurred due to our travels, but maybe someday the two of you will. I wonder when that will happen, Sylph shrugs. We may not be bound by space, time, or even location in our lives, but time unfolds in its own way, with or without us. Also true? Yes, it's liquid. Nada, come on, Mom. It's kite flying day. Grandma, Grandpa, let's go. Sylph narrating. Of course, it's not kite flying in the conventional sense. We can become kites ourselves and fly wherever we want. I had never had this much fun in my whole life, and I knew it would only increase as I aged. My friends were living their own lives on Earth and doing exceptionally well in their fields. Diva and Caprice often tell me that it was due to my leap that made them choose their vocations. I've seen them mature so quickly over time and have families of their own. Their parents are more content than ever, having grandchildren of their own. My mom and dad feel a little bit out of their league with Nadatan and Galvaton, but they are adored and spoiled mightily whenever we go on holiday back on planet Earth. Funny, it doesn't seem unusual saying those words. Both Develium and Earth are my home. I'm a star gypsy, just like Catan. Wherever I am with him is home, and will always be, because love makes all things possible. There's a symphonic version of Born to Make History, followed by the two divers dancing on Eros to unknown planets, helping where they are needed. They give others the ability to be independent. Nada and Galva learn from them and go further to what we think are the dark reaches of space, but even there, life exists in different galactic quadrants. The message of the script itself is that if one believes they are doing a small act, it creates ripples that they won't be able to know of or comprehend until later on in their lives. Maybe we won't see their effects while we are alive, but someday we will know just how much we influence somebody else. That's what gives me hope, and that's what gives me hope. And I'd like to consider myself a quantum diver, like Catan. Even if I don't get thanked for everything I have done, it doesn't matter. All I want is the universe to become better and a place of growth, enlightenment, peace, joy, and laughter.